Hey, I'm Maya. This channel shares real style stories about betrayal, boundaries, and the moment people stop sacrificing themselves for others. If that speaks to you, subscribe. Let's begin. My name is Natalie Brooks. I'm 36 years old, single by choice, and I work as a data systems manager for a national logistics company. I've been financially independent since I was 22, and for the last 11 years, I've owned my home outright. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a small backyard with an old maple tree that drops leaves everywhere in October. And most importantly, my name is the only one on the deed. No co-signers, no family assistance, no shared ownership. I didn't grow up rich. I grew up in a house where money was always tight, but somehow there was always enough to rescue my younger brother, Evan. Evan was 2 years younger than me and had been finding himself since high school. When he dropped out of college, my parents paid off his student loans. When he quit job after job, they told him he was meant for something bigger. When he racked up credit card debt, they blamed the economy. When I worked double shifts, saved obsessively, and skipped vacations to build a future, I was told, "Don't be so intense. Life isn't just about money." That double standard followed us into adulthood. I bought my house at 25. My parents congratulated me, briefly, then asked how much I paid and whether I really needed that much space. Evan, on the other hand, moved apartments 4 times in 5 years. Every time something went wrong, my parents showed up with checks, groceries, or lectures about how hard life was for him. I learned early that my role in the family wasn't to need anything, it was to handle things quietly. By my early 30s, I'd stopped expecting support from them entirely. We spoke on holidays, birthdays, and occasional Sunday calls where my mother updated me on Evan's latest plan, a new job idea, a business venture, a fresh start. I listened, I nodded, I stayed neutral. That's why the knock on my door that Tuesday morning caught me completely off guard. It was 10:32 a.m. I was working from home, halfway through a system audit, coffee going cold on my desk. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, my parents were standing on my porch. Between them stood Evan and his wife Rachel. Behind them, parked diagonally across my driveway like it belonged there, was a white rental truck. No one smiled. No one asked if this was a good time. My mother stepped forward first. "You'll need to move your office things," she said, glancing past me into the house. "Evan and Rachel will need that room." I blinked. "I'm sorry? What?" Rachel placed a hand on her stomach. That's when I noticed it, the small, unmistakable curve beneath her coat. "We're expecting," Evan said. 4 months. I waited for the punchline. It didn't come. My father cleared his throat. "They can't stay in that apartment anymore. It's too cramped." I felt something shift in my chest, that familiar tightening I'd felt my entire life whenever Evan's needs entered the room. "You didn't ask," I said slowly. "You just showed up." My mother sighed, already irritated. "We didn't think we needed to. This is family." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "This is my home," I said. "You're not moving in." Evan's expression hardened immediately. "Why are you being like this? You have all this space. You live alone." My father folded his arms. "You don't need this house this big. Families do." There it was. Not a request, a verdict. I told them again, calmly, that the answer was no. My mother waved her hand like I was being dramatic. "Your father helped you buy this place. You owe us." That was the moment I realized they had rewritten history. "No," I said. "I paid for this house myself. Every dollar." Evan exhaled sharply. "We don't have time for this. Rachel shouldn't be standing out here." My father took a step toward the door. "We're unloading the truck." And just like that, the conversation was over, in their minds. They weren't asking. They were taking. I stood between my family and my front door, heart pounding, realizing something terrifying and clarifying at the same time. They truly believed this house was already theirs. For a few seconds, no one moved. The rental truck idled behind us, engine humming, like a countdown timer. I could feel my heart beating in my ears, but my voice came out steady. "You're not coming inside," I said. My mother looked genuinely shocked, not hurt, not confused, offended. "Don't be ridiculous, Natalie," she snapped. "We raised you better than this." My father stepped closer, lowering his voice the way he used to when I was a teenager. "Move aside. We'll discuss this once things are settled." That's when it clicked. They didn't think I had authority here. They thought I was posturing. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. Evan scoffed. "What, are you calling your friends?" "I'm calling my lawyer," I said. The word lawyer landed like a dropped plate. My mother's face tightened. "You're really going to embarrass us like this?" I turned away from them and dialed Laura Simmons. She answered on the second ring. "Laura, it's Natalie. My family is attempting to move into my house without permission. They refuse to leave." There was no hesitation in her response. "Are they inside?" "No." "Good. Don't let them in. I'm on my way. I'll call the sheriff." I hung up. Silence. Evan stared at me like I'd slapped him. "You called the police?" he said. "I called my lawyer," I corrected. "The police are next if you don't leave." Rachel shifted uncomfortably, whispering something to Evan I couldn't hear. My father shook his head slowly. "This is exactly why people say success changes you." "No," I said. "Entitlement reveals itself." That pushed him over the edge. He stepped toward the door again. "We're family. You don't get to lock us out." I planted my feet. "If you cross that threshold," I said, "you will be trespassing." For the first time, I saw uncertainty flicker across my mother's face. We stood there in tense silence. 12 minutes felt like an hour. Then a silver sedan pulled up behind the rental truck. Laura stepped out, briefcase in hand, professional and calm. Less than a minute later, a sheriff's vehicle rolled up to the curb. The sight of it changed everything. Rachel began to cry softly. Evan's confidence collapsed into anger. "You're unbelievable," he muttered. The sheriff approached us. "Ma'am," she said, turning to me, "you reported a property dispute." "Yes," I replied. "These individuals are attempting to occupy my home without my consent." Laura had already opened her briefcase. She handed over a folder. "Here is the deed," Laura said. "Natalie Brooks is the sole owner, purchased in 2015. No co-owners, no liens." The sheriff reviewed the documents carefully. She then turned to my parents. "Do you have documentation proving ownership or residency?" My father bristled. "We're her parents." "That's not what I asked." My mother tried a different angle. "We helped her financially." "Do you have proof of that?" Laura asked calmly. They didn't. Laura continued. "We also have bank records showing the down payment came exclusively from Ms. Brooks' salary over 3 years." The sheriff closed the folder. "Then this is private property. You are being asked to leave." Rachel sobbed openly now. My mother grabbed her arm. "Natalie, think about the baby." I looked at my brother. "Your child deserves stability. That's your responsibility, not mine." The sheriff gave them a final warning. They left. The rental truck pulled away slowly, like it was reluctant to accept defeat. As they drove off, my mother turned back and said something I'll never forget. "This isn't over." Laura stood beside me, watching them disappear. "Change your locks today," she said quietly, "and document everything." I nodded. I thought that was the worst of it. I was wrong. I didn't sleep much that night. Not because I doubted myself, but because I knew my family well enough to understand something important. They don't retreat. They reframe. By morning, my phone confirmed it. The first call came from my aunt. "What did you do to your brother?" she asked, without even saying hello. I sat up in bed. "What are you talking about?" "He says you threw them out. Rachel's pregnant, Natalie." I ended the call and opened Facebook. Evan had posted a long message late the night before. It described a heartless sister who had taken over the family home, refused to help a pregnant couple, and chose money over blood. He didn't mention the deed. He didn't mention the sheriff. He didn't mention that he'd never paid $1 toward my house. The post already had over 200 shares. People I barely remembered from high school were commenting. Some called me cruel. Some said they never would have guessed. Others tagged friends with comments like, "This is why success ruins families." My hands shook, not from guilt, but from rage. By noon, my mother had called 3 times. When I finally answered, she went straight to tears. "Why are you humiliating your brother?" she cried. "People are talking." "He's lying, publicly. He's upset. He didn't mean it that way." That post was deliberate. Silence. Then she said, "Can't you just let it go, for the sake of peace?" There it was again. Peace, but only if I surrendered. I called Laura immediately. She read the post carefully, then looked up at me. "This is defamation," she said. "He's making false claims about ownership and intent. What do we do?" We document everything, screenshots, timestamps, and then we shut it down. That afternoon, Laura sent Evan a formal cease and desist letter. It demanded immediate removal of all false statements, a written retraction, and no further public commentary about me or my property. The letter arrived by certified mail. Evan responded by calling me 23 times in 1 hour. I didn't answer. Then my father called. "You've gone too far," he said. "Legal threats against your own family?" "I chose to go public," I replied. "I chose to protect myself." "He's under stress." "So am I." He lowered his voice. "You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said. "I just stopped holding it together alone." That night, Evan doubled down. Another post, more exaggeration, more sympathy bait. But this time, something shifted. People started asking questions. Whose name is on the deed? Why didn't you just rent somewhere else? Why did the police show up? The narrative was cracking, and that's when Evan made his biggest mistake. He decided to take what he thought was already his. 2 weeks passed. No calls, no messages, no apologies. I almost believed it was over. I was wrong. I came home from work on a Thursday evening, arms full of groceries, already thinking about dinner. I put my key into the lock. It didn't turn. I tried again. Nothing. For a moment, my brain refused to process what was happening. Then I noticed something small, but unmistakable. The lock was new. My stomach dropped. I stepped back and checked the house number, checked my phone. Everything was correct. This was my house. I called Laura. "Natalie,
she said calmly. "Don't go inside. Call the police immediately." Before I could dial, my phone rang. It was my father. The house felt different after that night. Even after the locks were replaced, the windows checked, and the alarm upgraded, I couldn't shake the feeling that something sacred had been violated. Laura filed for a temporary restraining order the very next morning. Given the break-in and arrest, it was granted without hesitation. Evan, Rachel, and my parents were ordered to stay 500 feet away from me and my property. That alone felt surreal. But it wasn't the end. The district attorney decided to pursue the case. The prosecutor explained it plainly. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a pattern. First pressure, then public harassment, then forced entry. Evan's employer found out about the arrest. He worked in regional sales for a mid-sized firm, a job my parents loved to brag about. He was terminated within a week. Without his income, Evan and Rachel couldn't keep their apartment. They moved into my parents' two-bedroom condo. Exactly the situation they claimed was unbearable. The court process moved quickly. Laura refused any plea deal that didn't include full restitution, a public retraction of the defamatory posts, and a permanent no-contact agreement. Evan refused. He still believed he was the victim. The trial lasted 2 days. The evidence spoke for itself. The deed, the locksmith invoice, the police reports, screenshots of the posts. Evan was found guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to probation, hundreds of hours of community service, and ordered restitution for damages and legal fees. He was also ordered to publicly retract every false statement he'd posted. That post received almost no attention. The lie had already traveled farther. Rachel left him shortly after. I sat in the courtroom, listening, not smiling, not celebrating, just breathing. Because the truth didn't need emotion, it just needed daylight. People assume that after something like that, you feel victorious. I didn't. I felt quiet. The restraining order eventually expired. I renewed it, not out of anger, out of clarity. Evan completed his probation. He struggled to find stable work with a criminal record. He still lives with my parents. Their finances never fully recovered. Rachel moved out of state after their separation. The baby was born healthy. I hope she has a peaceful life. I don't know, because I'm no longer part of it. I started therapy not because I regretted my choices, but because I wanted to understand why saying no had once felt like cruelty. My therapist gave it a name:
compulsory sacrifice. The unspoken rule that one child exists to carry the weight, to give endlessly, to stay small so someone else can feel big. For most of my life, that child was me. Letting go of my family hurt, but staying would have cost me myself. I renovated the room they damaged and turned it into a home office. I was promoted last year. I sleep well now. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty. I don't, because boundaries aren't punishment, they're protection. I didn't ruin anyone's life. I simply refused to let mine be taken. And that changed everything.